Hi everyone, thanks for joining us. We are lucky to have 4 guests here with us to discuss really the AI revolution inside their companies. They are all companies using AI for their products, but also they had to learn how to use AI internally, and we're going to discuss what it changed for their employees, the way the company is organized, which employees are working with AI, what is the AI team, what should it look like in their companies, etc., etc. So just a quick introduction again. We have over there Charles from Alan. Everybody knows Alan. You're also an advisor for Mistral, who everybody heard about as well. Rata, Jacquemart, just here, you are the CEO of Differs, a startup that's helping retailers to find the right sale price for each product with the help of AI. Renaud, Allioux, here with the white shirt, you are the co-founder of Preligens, which is a defense tech company used by the French Army and NATO, using satellite images, also geospatial data for intelligence. And Jean-Baptiste Hironde, you are the co-founder of MWM, a publisher producing and developing creative consumer apps for music, drawing, photo, and video. So my first question would be, it's been roughly a year of us living with generative AI. Obviously, the revolution that's making a lot of buzz and this push in the AI field. And I just want to know what it changed in your companies, if at all, for your employees and just for your company, its life in general.
Hi everyone. So it changed a lot of things for Alan and especially for me. So basically at the beginning of 2022, I was like, there's something brewing in the generative AI space. I'm gonna give up everything that I'm doing as a CTO and I'm gonna focus solely on AI. I had studied like 10 years ago, like in the AI. I was doing a little bit of AI, but like that was ages before like the generative AI technology. So what I had to do was to get back immediately into learning and getting to know intimately like how that technology worked. And then it was all about sharing with the organization. So what it changed at Alan, we created a plan where first we wanted to educate everybody in the company on how to use that technology. You've all heard someone say, "Oh yeah, I used my cousin used ChatGPT once, and it basically hallucinated a bio for him, so I'm never going to try it again." And basically, that's exactly what we wanted to avoid. We wanted to educate everyone in the company to make sure that people knew and tried the thing, so that they wouldn't be scared about it and they wouldn't just discard it as just another wave of fashion in tech. And once we had done that, we've seen amazing stuff in the company. So basically, in order to educate, we had created some workshops. We had created a generative AI academy inside the company. And once people went through those things, we started to see innovation come up everywhere in the company, like from like the most junior intern was able to create stuff that we had never seen before. So we were able to increase the productivity, to reduce our costs as a company, and to increase the personalization of our product. So it really changed a lot of things for us.
Rata, you want to?
For us, it's the same. Like if in your company, not everyone is using generative AI, I think that's strange. So for both tech team and business team, we use it, I don't know, every 10 minutes at least. But so on the tech team, of course, it's Copilot. You spend much less time to code now, like instead of looking on the website, which library that can help you and stuff. It's the speed goes up by 2 at least. And on the business side as well, it helps us a lot on content creation, on a message creation. We trained, with the right prompt, we can train generative AI to understand. Well, we use ChatGPT for now, but we can train super easily ChatGPT in our case to understand our tone of voice. So we have like Rata's tone of voice, we have different tone of voice, each person tone of voice, and yeah, it's crazy 2 or 3 times. And really, if you haven't started yet, yeah. But however, it doesn't change at all on our market. Because, well, we target retailers, especially mid-market retailers who don't have data science in-house. And what we observe is that, well, today with the economic downturns, retailers, they are suffering with their consumers who have much less purchase power than before. So what they're looking is more predictive AI, actually. What we're doing is more like help us predict the consumer's behavior so that we react, so that we take a right decision. We don't see any customers we are talking to that need like generative AI use case to have, I don't know, models that change colors of clothes. Well, we don't see that yet. And so it doesn't change our market at all, but it can be interesting to add like a feature in our solution, but not on the use case we're targeting at all. Yeah.
Renaud, same question for you.
Yeah, so I think it changed 3 things. First, I would say we did not discover generative AI this like 1 year ago. We used it a little bit, like with GAN and style transfer and this kind of thing, because we are focusing on processing images, so more than images than text. We are not really AI in text. So, but this gap we saw last year is really unprecedented. And so we had a little bit of work in generative AI, but not at this scale. So the first thing that changed is, I think, as you said, we starting deploying it a lot in the company. Maybe a little bit more carefully than other company, because as a sovereign defense, etc. company, we have to be very careful with data privacy, IP, etc. But of course, we want like everyone in the company to use this kind of tool to do better job. Secondly, it changed also how our client perceive AI and perceive our product. So we are providing basically image analysis product for video, for satellite images, etc. But they are starting to ask, okay, is it possible to interact it with as a chat? Like, is it possible? Could something which would be interesting? Is it something that we should develop? So we started to emerge this kind of question from client, from someone. All our clients are very operational guys, like some are analysts, some are special forces. These are not tech guys, but they heard about it and started to ask questions. So it started to maybe how we think product started a little bit to change. And at the end, you see, I don't think most people know about Preligens because of our company. We don't make lots of fuss because of defense and stuff. But I used to be CTO until last year, until a couple of until June. And actually, a reason why I decided to be chief innovation is because of generative AI. Because in defense, operation is very hard. So we have 150 engineers. We have to deploy product in classified environment, go abroad with a USB key, and this is very painful. And we discover, okay, if we want to be up to the task, to everything what's going on in AI, we need to separate a little bit innovation from operation. And as a CTO founder, I say, okay, I want to change from operation to innovation and take this 5-10 people, a little bit as you described, and say, okay, how we can like think about internal use of generative AI, embedded AI, what is the future of our technology. And actually, I think there will be a press release that we will for example, start developing our own foundation model for defense and geospatial application. And this is directly in fact, consequences of that. So I think it changed a lot, like for everyone.
Renaud, same question.
Just to add something new to this dialogue, we have been developing and working on AI for now more than 4 years and a half. So I can't say it's something new. It hasn't changed drastically what we are doing every day. But for me, the biggest impact I see in my company is about the impact on the product. So the time to create the product, the time to go on the market, and our engineers are continuing to work on AI, and they started this in the past 5-10 years ago. But everything goes faster. As we said, time flies, and the idea is that as a CPO in my company and a CEO, I can see that we have to change every process and methodology in the product process conception and development, and we have to run in this very, very aggressive worldwide battle around creating the best product with the best technology to address new market or your market, your actual market. So just to add something, it's more about a very deep and real impact about the product, the quality of what you can offer to your users. As inside, that's for me the big change and the new paradigm to understand.
Yeah, because obviously AI is offering big business opportunities, new business opportunities, new markets, new products for your companies, new customers to reach. And I wonder how inside your companies you organize this dialogue between the tech teams and the business team on the AI topic, because your tech teams have the most insights on the technology, what it allows. Your business teams probably have ideas. They don't know as much about the technology. How do you do that at Alan, for example?
I think you'd be surprised because, in fact, it's the tech teams that are the most conservative about AI.
Totally agree. Yeah, it's the same for us. Yes, it's the last team that used generative AI.
Exactly.
What do you mean conservative?
They know how it works. And
So they have the head so much in the code. They didn't have time much to do the observation of what happens.
And so basically, the latest generation of generative AI basically allowed people who just had to type a little bit of words in a box of text, and they could do something. That was not true in the previous generations, where you had to have a whole team of data scientists, engineers to actually create something. Now you can prototype with just one person who doesn't know much about tech. And that's a huge change. And so basically, there's no tech team and product team that thinks of things. Now it's just anybody can prototype an idea, and then we can take it to life. It still takes some energy, but you don't have to be. You don't have the gatekeeping of the technology team to say, is that possible to try?
So that would be the business teams challenging the tech team to find a solution. Can you give us examples of?
Yeah, for example, I was mentioning, an intern in our company just created tools to, for example, translate all the presentations that we have for our sales team. And just with one button, we can translate all the presentation. And no engineer would have come and said, okay, I'm going to try to build that if nobody had told them. And just that person, a super junior intern, was able to do it by himself and create a lot of value for the company.
Renaud, how is it at Preligens?
Yeah, so I think at Preligens it doesn't change much the process, but more the topic. So we have been selling AI application for 8 years, and it's always has been challenging because you have to manage the hype, I can say, especially with users who, they don't really care about AI. They care about how to actually win a war when there is a war, protect the country, this kind of thing. So you have to show them how it how it will be useful for them from the beginning. Otherwise, they don't really care about the tech. And what is changing is there always have been this great expectation about AI. I remember the first interaction we had was like, okay, can I have like some kind of app on my smartphone? I just push a button and I find the bad guy, and I have 30K. And we're like, no, but we can develop you something to detect car on satellite imageries. It would take 2 years of R&D and $2 million. You know, so this kind of expectation match is complex, and we always had to do that. And it's structured like any, I think, innovative companies who selling disruptive tech is to have very good product manager, very good team to manage to bridge the gap between expectation, hype, operational use case, and make the tech deliver it. It's hard. It's always hard. Has been hard for 8 years. It's still hard now, and I think will always be hard.
Renaud, you develop apps, new apps. Sorry, Baptiste. You develop new apps that are in fact business ideas. They come from the product teams of the company, and the tech team has to help develop these apps, or how does it work?
Yes, the big advantage and the good news for a product team is that they are able to test themselves their ideas. So I have an idea. I can try and I can go on the web I can start big servers on Think Diffusions and run on big GPU, very big model, open source model that I've just downloaded on Hugging Face in few hours or minutes, and I can test if my idea is good or not. I can see the results, and after that I can go and talk to my R&D team and say, okay, I have this idea, this is the result, I have made a lot of tests, it works, can you put this online? And in the past you have to, okay, I have an idea, I'm a product manager, I'm going to pitch my idea to my CPO or to my manager, and then the guy is going to pitch the CTO, the R&D team. Okay, we can do that, but maybe it will take 1 year, 2 years, 3 years of development, because based on our track record, when we want to launch something, it costs X, and it's around 6 months, 10 months, or plus. And what I ask to nowadays in my company, what I'm expecting from my product managers is to be very autonomous in the realization of the MVP. So they are able to create their own MVP just with APIs, open source system, and they can test everything before asking the tech team or the R&D team, because it's a fight of time, so the time to market is very important, and if you are able to reduce the gap between delivery and ideas, maybe you will win on the market, especially in the mobile market, because we have millions of apps and 100,000 of competitors. So it's very specific because it's B2C market worldwide with a lot of competitors.
The thing that we've been noticing is that there's a collapse of the talent stack. So basically, where you needed to have a full team of like 8 people to actually produce a product, now you can do it with 1 or 2 people. And that removes a lot of overhead in terms of in terms of communication, in terms of decision making. I'm sure you're gonna see in a lot of companies, a lot of places where like just 2 people are gonna be able to make like enormous businesses or enormous products inside the companies, and then there will be a lot of teams that are gonna pivot into supporting those 2 people instead of being like part of the core team of the product.
Just at differs, how do you manage this tension between the product and the innovation? What is driving the other?
You mean The tension between the tech and the business
Yes,
team?
exactly.
Well, we don't have much tension. Actually, our first principle is that the tech and the business team are equal. And I faced this chance to have this structure when I was at BCG actually. So at BCG, they are BCGX to data science, and we have BCG generalist. And it was the first place in the world I saw that we were really treated equally. Like it's in the culture. Finally, is a respect, because in some companies I see that it's a business who decide and then the tech build it without being much heard. We say in some companies, in Silicon Valley, for example, there are a lot of mainly tech first that telling business to follow, and yeah, what I saw at BCG is that with the equal respect system, it works so well, and is what we postulate as a first postulate first. So yeah, everyone listen to each other, respect, and yeah, so not on our side, no.
So they're on equal foot, and there is a good dialogue.
Yeah, it's in the culture, I would say. Yeah.
Okay. In this era of ChatGPT becoming ChatGPT 4, ChatGPT 4 Turbo, etc., this acceleration in the innovation in the AI field, it feels it's constantly accelerating, and your solution is so quickly outdated. How do you manage that inside your company? Do you just say we're going to take the best of the shelf AI application and just use it, or do you keep on wanting to develop your own AI solutions, even if your capacities are not the capacities that can equal the best player at a given moment? How do you manage that?
I think it really depends on the use case, on how much money you expect to make off of the feature. Is it core to your company to really go deeper? I usually try to write a weight equation where basically I try to compute how much money would I save if I didn't put a team on a topic, try to develop the next thing, and just wait for the tide of the innovation to come back and get us. And so that allows me to evaluate how much efficiency should I miss, and how much would it cost to actually develop it, and is it core to my business that I actually learn more and get better at that specific thing. So for example, for Alan, we receive hundreds of thousands of invoices a year, and basically it costs us a few millions to actually pass manually, and we had the choice of either trying to develop some models based on open source and try to really automate our stuff, or wait for a GPT-4 vision that could pass automatically the images. And we decided to actually make the bet of training our own models on document processing, because it was so core to our business. Because if you can pass things very efficiently, you can reimburse people in less than 1 minute. And so that's what we decided to do. But on other stuff, we're just going to wait until it gets better, and we're going to reap the benefits at the end.
Renaud, on this.
Sorry. Yes, I think the first thing is for computer vision, it's a little bit less mature than language. So we actually tested it, all the foundation models. There is generic foundation model, and it actually doesn't scale to specific application yet. But what we do usually is we have this kind of infrastructure and code infrastructure we call the AI factory, which is in fact a modular code base, where the research team, part of their mission is to test this new innovation and find, okay, this thing seems interesting. I'm going to put it in the right factory, but put it like a modular, parametrable way. So, okay, I will put this new neural network, but you can change actually a little bit the architecture, you can change the backbone, you can change the different parameter, and you hardcode that in the infrastructure. And so everyone can test it and use it. And so every year of our 50, 60 data scientists can actually test that when we filter it and find interesting, use it, but also modify it, modify a little bit, chain it with another processes or another innovation. And so you do that, you leverage the innovation, but also you give also the freedom to test new product, to test new thing. And so that's how we do it. So it's basically an industrial process. If there is a new paper, we test it. If it's interesting, it go in the factory. If not, we'll retest it 6 months later.
Jean-Baptiste?
Maybe what is very interesting today is that we have 3 different kind of business. So service business, maybe more technological business, and for me, a real product business, centered on the product. So my core business is creating apps, and my service is my app. So this is my objective. And if we have to maybe to simplify, I see 3 layers. The first one is in the journey of AI. The first one is generating model, creating model. So this is OpenAI. You are a tech company. You are coding and generating models. The second layer is you use model and you retrain this model with your own data, because you own some very useful data to optimize the results of the model. And the third layer is you don't have data, you don't have engineers to develop your model, you just have developers that are able to integrate APIs, and you can use ChatGPT very easily to create amazing product. So depending of where your value, or your core value is, you just have to select first, second, or third layer. So for me, it's easy to say the third layer is the fastest way to go to the market and to test my ID. The second layer is more for me on specific product, or for more technological companies. And the first one is just if you are Mistral or OpenAI, you create those models. So you have to choose on that. And if you are in the third part and you want to compete on the first layer, I think you will you may lose your market. You will fail, because this is not a good investment for your company.
Rata, how do you decide which technology is really key for your company, and which technology you should develop internally rather than take off the shelf elsewhere?
We are building a SaaS, so essentially the core model. Of course, we have to develop ourselves to have the competitivity. But what we observe rather about, I was a data science consultant for a long time, and the most important use cases are always the same. Like, for example, for retailer, it will always be pricing and promotion optimization. And we did it for many customers, and really 90% of the work each time is the same. So so for me, I see if it's not like the core AI project of your company, I would rather recommend to try first on the shelf, because first, the data scientists are the resource that change companies super frequently. So on average, is every 1 year and 7 months. And so if you build in-house, let's say, okay, I don't talk about the core project. If you build in-house a project, and then 1 year and a half, the person is leaving, and then you have to find another person to try to ramp up on what the first person is doing, it's super, super painful. And yeah, so it depends on your budget. Also, actually, I see AI projects like when you have a back age. So if you are super rich and you have money to go see someone to massage you, then or hire a massagist to be at your place and do it. But if not, start first with a massage pillow and to see if which is SaaS. And if it works already, keep your money to do other projects for me. Yes.
And you're raising a key point about keeping your engineers, your data scientists, it can be your AI scientists, happy, and to get them to stay at your company. What is key, would you say, to keep this talent? There is a huge war for these talents between startups, big companies, research labs, as we see today here at Station F. What's key, you would say, to keep them happy with their work?
So from our startup is quite new, so I would rather share my experience on the
They're not living yet.
other companies. When I was at Allioux, for example. Allioux is like the place where they keep talents super efficiently. So every data scientists are still there since they come. But it's super powerful. And then the structure, the culture is that we are not restricted to do the role, to do the official role we are assigned to. I think data scientists are the tech people. We are frustrated if we can do more and we cannot. Like at some places, I don't know if you are only, let's say, junior data scientist and officer, you can do only that, and your company don't let you do more when you can. People will leave. And it's not what happened at all at Allioux. So regardless of your title, if you can prove that you can do something cool, you can have a lot of responsibility. And I think it's what tech people are looking for, to be trusted, to be given chance to do something cool. Not less on the money, yes, but more on having opportunity to prove yourself. Yes.
Charles, Alan, how do you do to keep your tech talent?
I mean, that's a really broad question, and that's also beyond AI. But basically, we try to invest a lot into the culture. Basically, we have that culture with radical transparency, where everybody has the information about everything in the company. So the people who are actually building stuff, they know about what's going on, and they can get the information. And that's actually where AI comes in, because since we have that transparency, that's radical transparency, we can now invest into AI tools to get the knowledge when we need it. So we use that tool called Dust internally, which is a French company. But basically, we ask a question, and it goes into all the information that we have on our Slack, on our Google Drive, on our Notion, and it gets you just the right answer. And when you're an engineer and you want to understand the why we are actually building some stuff, and you can actually ask about to give you that answer, that's incredibly empowering. Because in the end, you're the one deciding on the how as an engineer. And so if you get all the information to make the best decision, in the end, you're going to build the best product.
Renaud, you have very specific talent, I guess, at Preligens, working on the defense side of things. They are probably attracted by this, but how do you handle this? How do you build your engineer and scientist team at Preligens?
Yes, I think what said Charlie is very interesting. I used to have a mentor who told that culture eats strategy for breakfast. So it's always something we try to invest. We are kind of lucky that having also what you said, this kind of mission. So the mission part is really important for us and for most of people in our company. So it doesn't suit everyone's needs, but the mission plus also the very deep tech stuff, like we are doing very deep tech AI, it gives us lots of attractivity in AI. Software also, but software is, we have more competitor, we are more, the market is broad. Basically, when you want to do computer vision, work in defense in Paris, and want to work in a startup, there is not many competitors. So this is something that we had kind of not lots of difficulty to be honest to hire data scientists. Of course, there is a new batch now of iCompany, Pulsar, Mistral, etc. But they are more on the LLM side, so we are not really competing for talents. because we are more on vision. And so until now, it has been not. It's never easy, especially for a manager, for top talents. But data scientist and AI engineer has not been the most complicated recruitment we had.
You're not competing with the French army or the French Ministry of Interior. You're saying that they don't have this kind of talent. They outsource to you this part.
Unfortunately, not really. And I say really unfortunately, it's not with AI. It's with lots of technical engineering background. It's hard to do a career as an engineer. You can go to the DGA, but in the army itself, it could be complex. It's the same for all governmental organizations. I think it's not specific to the army. Being a tech guy in a governmental organization, it's not easy in terms of career, in terms of pay, in terms of everything. So
it needs to change, but
I think that needs to change, and we are trying not to poach them because but yes, it's hard for them.
Jean-Baptiste, was it key for you to recruit AI scientists, engineers, and how do you manage them?
I think it's key to retain talents, and I think the basic secret sauce to retain an engineer or AI engineer is just to give them a challenging project in terms of technology and ownership, and that's it. If you have a technological challenge plus ownership, so direct impact on the business, they are very happy. And if your company is not selling shitty product, but has real vision and a real strong culture, this is a dream for you. And my feedback on that could be 90% of my first employee in the tech team are present today, 9 years after the creation of the company. 90%.
That's a great benchmark.
Yeah. So it's ownership, mission, vision, and challenge. That's it.
But I think your question was if we needed to hire specialized AI people.
Yeah, there is also a tension between hiring new talent or just training your own engineers.
Yeah.
We have to do both, I think. Yeah.
You may have to do both. My bet was that we didn't need to hire AI specialists with the new generative AI wave, because the technology is so different from what was going on before. So basically, you have something completely new, and so you can retrain people who were experts in the previous generation. But I think it's much easier to actually look at the people you have in your organization, the ones that are super curious, the ones that are super smart and really want to know and understand that new wave of generative AI, and give them time and the means to actually ramp up on that new technology. And we've done that at Alan, and I think I'm really happy about the result, because we're not paying like astronomical salaries to hire AI researchers, because those people can cost in the millions. And at the same time, we have people who have ramped up super quick on that new technology, and they can actually deliver after like a few months.
Actually, I have the experience that having a mix of people coming from AI or, for example, the MWM or very, very strong scientific or AI background, but also having a software engineer who train themselves in AI, are a very good mix. Because at the end, you have to put your AI in production, you have to have some code and run somewhere. And if you have only researchers, etc., sometimes it's challenging. They are not really interested in code, they are not really interested in deployment. Whereas if you have a software engineer who is trained in AI, there is lots of tools, lots of things that he could use to do iterative R&D production and put that in the hand of the clients. And I think the mix is really interesting in terms of tech culture.
In fact, I think I misspoke a little bit, because we cheated a little bit at Alan, because we're very close to the Mistral team, which is external to us, so we don't have to pay their salaries that are like pretty high. And at the same time, we get a lot of information, a lot of knowledge from them, because they're working from our office, and so we get a lot of exchange of information and know-how, which is really key in that new generation of AI.
The software engineer is super hard to hire. I don't know if you guys have problems, but for us, it's the rarest resource that every startup we know are looking for and have a hard time. But data scientists nowadays, there are a lot. Everyone is like learning to be data scientist in some months, some quick course and they're a data scientist. So yeah, it's much more harder for us to find software engineers.
But it's the same at each decade. 10 years ago, it was iOS and Android developers. It's the same. It's each time it's the same problem. AI is very new, and so to convince the best engineer to come in your company, you have to work on your culture, your mission, your vision, your product. And I think this is the best way to hire great talents, because they will be very involved in the project, and this is the key for in a very specific business, which is mine, product-centric, user-centric in the B2C business. But
that's interesting that you mentioned the mobile engineers 10 years ago, because 10 years ago I was at Facebook and we had a huge shortage of mobile engineers. We were doing everything on web, and what we did was just like we could not hire people outside because there were not enough people knowing how to code on iOS. And so what we did was to train a lot of people internally to that new stack. And those people became iOS engineers. And I think that's super effective.
Maybe we have time for one last topic, which is sovereignty. Obviously, with these AI services we're mentioning, whether it be Mistral, OpenAI, they are using your company data. Any AI solution needs to be trained on data. I just want to know what's your position on this. There are many companies French companies afraid of using OpenAI. They see it as a black box. They don't know where the company is going to end up, how it's going to be used. What's your position on this?
I think I can start, because that's a topic like sovereignty for us. It's I think what you have to do, what I wanted to do with the company since the beginning, either in cloud, in SaaS solution, everything, that is really to be pragmatic and efficient. Meaning, if as a defense company you have the tendency, okay, I put everything air gap. I don't use a SaaS. I don't use cloud. I don't use US ChatGPT, all this kind of thing. But if you do that, you are not efficient, and you have a strategic downside, so you will lose. So in fact, you have to work a little bit more in detail and understand in your company, this is something I can put on SaaS. This is something I can put in the cloud. This is something I can, okay, this thing is probably like taking my data, but what data I'm putting in, is it okay? Who is going to, is it a company who is getting my data? Is it government? Which government? So I mean some kind of detailed analysis. And so at Preligens, we do everything. I think we have used every cloud provider. And we have a center in Rennes where we process classified data when there is like barbed wire and and we'll use also cloud, and we use all of that and trying to deploy tool and processes for everyone in the company to be easy to choose. Like, okay, if I do that, I'm going to use this kind of thing. If I do that, I'm going to use this kind of thing. And it takes a lot of time from you. We have a big legal compliance IT security team to be able to do that. And I think it's key. Otherwise, if you don't use the last technology, you can be sovereign, but you are like 5 years behind. So it's great to be sovereign, but if your solution is shit, yeah.
I think the first key is respecting GDPR. So basically not sending sensitive personal data to OpenAI. I think that's super important and
super simple.
Yeah, super simple too. I mean, not doing it, but there's ways to go around it. So you could have like OpenAI on Azure in Europe, which can get you like okay in terms of compliance with GDPR. Then, like, if you can't use that, you can actually use open source models that you can have on Hugging Face, and then use them like to for your applications. And then I mean, sovereignty is key for companies, but in the end, if you don't have a product that works well, it won't matter. Compliance needs to come first, but then you really need to understand which are the categories of data that you can process in which setting, and then deploy accordingly.
Rata, what's your position on sovereignty?
I think it depends on the size of your company as well. Well, seeing that we work a lot with mid-market, actually they seem to be less restricted than that. For example, retailers, right, they are suffering right now, so they're please help take our data and help us.
They don't care about sovereignty.
Yeah. I mean, yes, they are dying. Just take our data and give your recommendations with AI and save us. What we in our solution, we don't use personal data, so that's easier. But we can ensure our customers as well that on the data we take, we don't use it for others. The model is performant enough if we use only one customer data for one customer is what we do. But generally, very small numbers of customers are worried about it, and people who are worried are top, super well-known companies. Yes.
And Jean-Baptiste, one last word on this.
Yes, as far we are concerned, we are in a worldwide distribution, so 182 countries, 98% of our audience are abroad. So we are totally not, we are not very well known in France, because we are all over the world with 600 million users to date. So for us, there is not a lot of things new, because we already have this kind of problem in the past, and so we have to look at the RGPD and the DMA, which is going to be released next year. So we just have to respect all international or local laws, and after that, for us, it's not something new. So we are continuing our business like that, and it's a B2C business. So users are not sharing very deep personal data. We are not working for the state. We are not working. We are not enable plan to fly. So it's less important for it's less risky, exactly.
One word to add: in order to preserve sovereignty, we need leadership, and in order to preserve that leadership, we need to share a lot into the commons, and notably open source. And so, as much as possible, all the companies should contribute to open source and make sure that everyone can benefit of the advances in technology that we've made in the past few years.
All right, we'll finish with that. Thanks everyone for your contribution.
Thank you, Benoit. Thank you everyone for your time.